Welcome to the Baldwin Show.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about relationship advice for couples. How did we meet and how did he know that I was the one for him? And how do we do it with 3 babies? Like our life as a married couple with 3 children. So I'll let my husband start it off.
As far as you want to talk about how we met?
Yeah, you could talk, yeah. That's
Okay.
fine.
Well, everybody always asks us this story, and of course, I change it up all the time. Got to make it sound good on my end, but
You said we met on blackpeoplemeet.com.
yeah, which we did it, but good laughs. But no, we met through mutual friends, and it was just really crazy how everything started aligning and how we actually were brought to each other. It all started off by me seeing her on social media, I believe. From there, and I just see the page, and I was like, yo, yeah, I like this. And then come to find out we knew the same people. And then months later, she ends up at my doorstep randomly. I had a party with some friends over for 4th of July. And she randomly is at my doorstep. I open the door, and it's this beautiful face I see. And all we do is just look at each other and just be like,
whoa.
I can't believe this.
It was like the vibe was like, whoa.
Everything stopped. People were looking at us like
you guys know each other, and we're like, I don't know him and he doesn't know me, but I was just like, I knew his name. I knew his name was Trent. And I'm like, Trent? And he's like, Talisty? And we were just like, wow. Like, I know you, but I don't know you.
The way it happened was divine. It was God sent, So
okay, for sure.
After that,
God's plan.
Thanks, Drake. But after that, we worked on it. We were friends, and then started getting to talk and get to know each other. And I think where I really knew she was the one for me was I had gotten sick with like a stomach virus. I was just throwing up all over the place. She was living an hour away at the time. She came all the way to me, bought me new sheets, bought me all sorts of like crackers and juice and stuff. It just made me feel good, opposed to just like, hey, let's go and have a good time. Oh, you're sick? Okay, I'll talk to you when you get better. She really helped me. And I was looking at it, I was like, I thank you. That the appreciation for that. And I seen where her heart was. And it just showed me that she was willing to do things for me. And that just made me want to do for her. And at that point, I was like, I want to. This is what I want. This is what I want. And it was so funny because we moved so fast. Really, because she was putting these obligations on your boy, and I was like, I want it. You're right.
And I knew the stipulations were, I knew my value as a woman, as the woman that I was, and I knew what kind of man I expected and what I wanted from my man, and I knew that if he valued me the way that he valued me, that he would step up to anything that I put out there. If I said, baby, I want to do this and I want us to move into this place and do this, he's the man, he's the provider, he's the person that's gonna go and get it so that we can get it, So I knew that I had to give him stipulations. I had to give him a list of something that he can fix, because that's what men do. They fix things. They're fixers. If they don't have a list of things to hammer down, they're just walking around. Okay.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to be walking.
Right.
But she gave me these things, and typically any other woman would have probably scared a lot of people off, or men, or probably would have scared me off as far as like, whoa, why are you asking for all this? But like I said, the first time I had already looked and made up in my mind that this is what I want. So it wasn't fast for me. It wasn't scary. The process that we took and where we ended up with 3 beautiful kids, it literally was the testament of when you put your mind to it and you say this is what you want, you'll get everything. And
yes.
And I think we didn't fight. Of course, we have our problems as young couples.
For sure.
But the blessing, you guys see, it's evident. So if you just continue, put it in your mind, that if she's who you want and he's who you want, you guys have to put it out there and literally establish that. And everybody from that day forward, every decision has to be
for us. Decisions need to be for us coming together as being a young couple with children. I think that brings a whole different dynamic to it, because it's no longer just about us. It's not about
even in our selfish years.
It's just not about us anymore. But we have to remember, it also is about us. because then you'll lose the relationship as well. You know what I mean?
Very true.
And that's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to figure out how to be devoted to children and then also devoted to your spouse. And that's something we're working on every day. That's not even something we can honestly give advice to.
But the only advice and what everybody can tell us is just continue to work. You know, like she said, we can't neglect ourselves as well, even though we're denying our selfish ways because we have new responsibilities. And we gladly give up everything. But then there comes a time where you can't neglect self, because when you neglect self,
now you're unhappy, and now
your marriage suffers, your children will suffer, things just don't add up.
They don't add up because you still have to nurture yourself. You're still an individual in a relationship. You're still an individual. You're not individualizing yourself as in it's just about me.
You are a being, though.
You are an individual, so you still have to nurture yourself, but understand how you guys can nurture each other in the midst of nurturing self and kind of giving.
Yeah,
going.
It's not a fairy tale. It's work. It compromise.
Work.
But
it's arguing nights where I can't stand you.
No, but I'm hitting
and
my
I
head
can't
against
see.
the wall.
I don't see the answer. I don't see it. I don't see how this is gonna work. I don't see it. But it's about
in those times though, when you don't see it,
you need to slow down.
Yeah.
You need to slow down.
Because guess what? You're about to see something.
You're about to see something. Like, slow down. Like, slow it down. Stop trying to see what you can't see. Like, you just can't see.
Good way to put it.
Right.
Stop seeing what you can't see.
Like, whatever.
That's a good way.
So, we're normal. We're normal for sure.
We're happy.
We're happy. We go through our trials and tribulations like everybody else. But I wouldn't want to be with anybody else. I love you. So subscribe, like, thumbs up, all that. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.